Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Last Epoch dev stream. As always, I'm your host, Mike. Let's get right into it. We're gonna keep rolling with our rogue here. We've been quite happy with it. I'm just gonna get a couple more levels. I want to hit in the 75 range, 75 maybe 80 if I can possibly, and do some dungeon runs here. I really want to do some do some soul gambling and all the new stuff we got going on in there. That's my plan for today. As always, I'll be answering questions if anyone has any. Please feel free to leave them in the comments, and I will be happy to get to them as soon as I can. We're also just kicked off phase 2 of our community designed unique item. Looks like we're going with a mage two-handed as voted on by all of you. And today it's just picking the type of two-hand we're doing. So either axe, sword, mace, staff. Axe, sword, mace, staff. Spear. I know I was missing one. No bows though yet, because rogue's the only one that can do a bow.
Easy. Too easy.
Yeah. So the thing's gonna be interesting. I think there's one really obvious choice in there for mage two-hander staff, and there's 4 really not obvious choices. So I think people looking for a not obvious choice might have splitting the vote problem, so to speak. But yeah, I think it's gonna be fun. We got something right off the bat here. Let me get back to Streamlabs. Oh, Lone Star McFluffin and party and company. Welcome to the party. Glad to have you with us. And Lone Star McFluffin has resubbed for 11 months in a row. Thank you very much. As always, reminder to everyone here, all of the revenue for all the sources, donations, subscriptions, bits, all of it, they all go directly to our charity of the month, which right now is still our relief for Ukraine children through UNICEF. As you can see above me, and we're matching donations up to $10,000 still. So yeah, that's our track. Hello, everyone. I see people. I see familiar faces. I see new faces. Glad to have you all with us. the rogue does with a bow opens the portal kind of funny. It's like, whoa! And yeah, if you have any questions for me that you'd like me to answer, hit at Last Epoch Game in the comment so I see it loud and clear. We are rocking our Reign of Dragons timeline here, trying to finish that as quick as we can, I hope. But I do want to get some levels, so I'll see if there's any experience ones to go for. I don't see anything. We'll go here just because it branches nicely. Question right off the bat from Prey the Pig. I heard you say that level 90 to 100 was too fast for Yishi's liking. Yeah. Is the pace of PoE a goal, faster, slower? So the pace not being to our liking, we do want to slow it down from what it is now. I'll be honest, I have never actually leveled a Path of Exile character over level 91, I think. I always end up getting to the end of the ladder of what I want to do in the ladder by around that point, and don't end up leveling it faster than that. So I don't have a good personal frame of reference on Path of Exile. I would suspect I can use Diablo 2 as a reference, and faster than Diablo 2, I can say that, because that's just brutal. We also haven't hit a number yet. A lot of the power in your character development post level 90 comes from items. Very little of it actually comes from your level itself, and getting those super high levels is more often than not more of a bragging right, badge of honor, achievement type thing rather than an actual I'm going to finish my character with it. lots of build guides for like DLG, for example, and I'm sure Path of Exile as well. They probably kind of stop around level 90 because the level power difference is so minimal. And I'm sure there's exceptions to that. But yeah, slower than it is now. I would guess probably faster than Path of Exile, but A, we haven't figured it out yet. We haven't landed on something yet, and I don't have a personal frame of reference for that.
Not happening.
This guy is beefy.
Not happening.
Ooh, thought I could get out of that. Doesn't matter. No problem. It's funny, we were actually talking about the leveling speed yesterday. And there's a few other things tied into that as well. So something that people have brought up in the past is the feeling of getting experience shrines and experience rewards from monoliths at level 100 and what that does. And I think part of it is getting to 100's too easy, so that you're hitting that point a lot sooner. Yeah. Because the level 100 character with good gear, or with a level 100 character with bad gear versus a level 80 character with good gear, the 80's character is probably better. This thing is running away from me, and I don't like it.
Not happening.
You gotta stay in range so I can kill you easier, bud. Come on. Is this day 1 or something, huh? Alright, next question. Zacharias Bay, I left my suggestion regarding this in Discord, but wondering if you guys have any plans to alleviate issues and improve some of the functionality with minion targeting. Seems to be exacerbated with the set on some of the interactions. Oh, like with, I think I didn't see you post it, but I'm assuming it's you now from this. With the, Abomination getting in the way of the smaller minions, question mark? Just remove minions. Yeah, we're not gonna do that, I don't think. Talk about it if you really want. Fuck you, us. Thank you for subbing with Twitch Prime. Much appreciated. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Twitch Prime sub.
Not happening.
It's frustrating because our Amazon Prime is actually under my wife's account. I have my own Twitch account. Alright. Oh, TMY, thank you for gifting a sub to Rhymer Arts. He definitely needs it. In case anyone's unaware, Rhymer is one of our designer, QA, all-around does stuff person. The minion targeting is really tricky. So, getting minion targeting to even work the way it does. Sorry, I read your question, didn't really answer it. I don't think there's any major changes planned on the horizon for it right now. When there's a bigger minion in front of a smaller minion, I don't personally know of a good way to fix that directly. I know one thing that people bring up a lot is having, well, let's make it, yeah, having the ability to target up here. Which is great if it's a single frame targeting system, like you know, when you have like 10 squirrels or whatever, they all condense into one targeting frame, like one health frame. Card, there it is, one card, and skeletons do that quite quickly as well. I think it's anything over 3 minions of the same type get combined, but I could be wrong. And, ooh, come on, don't die, Mike. Woo! Sorry, that was kind of loud, my bad. Ah. Um, what was I talking about? Oh yeah, targeting. So what it actually does in order to target minions and allow minions targeting to show up at all when there are enemies there, is it actually like it raycasts from your cursor onto the screen, and it's got different things that it can hit with that raycast, and it's alternating every frame between, or maybe it's every 10 frames, something like that, between raycasting to things that can hit anything and things that can only hit minions. So you can still get minion targeting when it's underneath an enemy. It's weird, I know. And I could see, I don't know the good solution to being able to target a skeleton behind a abomination, but I definitely see the problem. +1 for Queer Math Girl's question about colorblind mode. Nope, no updates on it. Sorry, it's it's one of those things we'd love to do it faster. Making the game comes first.
Easy. Not happening.
We gotta get core functionality down first. A lot of it as well is like sometimes creating systems like that cause multiplicative work down the road, or technical debt, depending on how you want to look at it. So if we make, I know people have problems with when your health drains too quick and there's the gray health or the yellow health shadow that shows up behind, and having that be confused with your health bar. Say we were to make this is a really basic example, so it's not really that big of a deal, but this is the concept of one of the reasons why we don't work on things like that, in why we choose to work on things in the order we do, because it makes less total work for us, which makes the game release faster, is the short answer. But say you have we make a health globe for the colorblind gray health globe, and I'm not talking about Lich mode gray, but like the term gray health, and then we change what the health globe looks like, and it's now a square. So now suddenly we have to make two health globes for that, or health squares now, to represent the two different types that are there, that are in the system. But if we were 100% locked in on the globe instead of square, or maybe we switch to square first, then we never make the gray health globe, we only make the gray health square because we did that after. So I hope I'm explaining myself well, but I don't feel like I am. This is just one of the reasons why we pick kind of seemingly weird orders to do things in sometimes. This is what I'm trying to get at. And it's not that one thing is necessarily more important than another thing. It's the most efficient way to get all of those things done for 1.0 release, because that's our goal. That's what everything's working towards right now, is how fast can we get to 1.0. And the game development doesn't stop at 1.0 either at all. Like everything keeps going. Quality of life updates, system changes, new content, everything keeps going. No pipeline stops at 1.0. I offer a solution that as well, by having to apply the shade to a minion not already affected by the same type of shade. Something like that. I don't know if that would be a possible solution. It's tricky because then you have to, so if you're targeting when it's going to get the target, it's a lot more expensive of a process to get that target. Especially if there's a lot of things with shades on them already. And there may be situations, there may be situations where you want to put on the same thing again anyways. I don't know if that's too much of a concern at all, but the efficiency of it is possibly a concern there.
Not happening.
Efficiency of things is a very important thing for us right now. If you clicked a group portrait of minions. Oh, if you clicked a group portrait of minions, yeah, yeah, and then that's actually less bad because it's got that group already. It's tricky though. Then picking the one that's in range, and like there's a lot of pitfalls there. Honestly, I know it sounds terrible. I can't see that being a huge priority right now, but it's definitely something that we want to do. New content past 1.0 confirmed. Yes, definitely. Hi Llama, how's it going? Yeah, 1.0 is not the end by any means. If anyone was thinking that it might be, no. Oh, the goal is that in 10 years we're still making content for this game. That'd be great. I mean, maybe it's Last Epoch 2 at that point, but I'd be really happy with that.
Not happening.
Oh, there's a sword over there. What is it? Oh, rainbow. Didn't see any LP on it. Grab it anyways. Sonic 2 is a bad film and I have low standards. Well, it might not be for everyone. I haven't seen it yet. I'm very excited to see it. I hope it's good. In the category of video game movies, there's not a lot of competition, so you know, it could be good in that context. There's like 5 that are actually good. Sonic 1 being one of them, I think. What else in that category? Detective Pikachu was good. I enjoyed that. A little weird, but you know, it was fun. I don't think I'd put the Warcraft movie in that category. I don't know, it was fine. Oh, Kronos that's a fun weapon. Alright, another question here from Master Sword 1291. Was trying to make a forge guard the other day and was having issues with the passive tree. I felt like I was forced to spend points in nodes I didn't want in the lower half of the tree and was point starved in the top half for nodes I actually want. Are there devs planning to make some changes to the forge guard tree? I mean, so we don't... there's... The answer to that question for are there plans to make changes to insert class name here tree? Yeah, the answer is always yes, because we're always planning on making changes to all of them all the time, forever. Do we have specific plans for specific nodes to fix this specific problem? No.
Not happening.
Always happy to hear suggestions on things like this, for sure. What belt is this? Oh, you know, 1 LP there, that's nice. But no, we don't have any like hard plans for anything like that right now. I know we are planning on looking at adding in the threshold nodes for more classes. So we in 8.4 we added a new style of passive nodes called threshold nodes, whereby at a certain threshold you get an extra bonus to that tree. So it could be like the node just gives +1 strength, but if you hit 5 out of 10 possible points that goes in there, you get an extra 200 health. I don't know. And those are mostly in Druid right now, but I think they're really successful and quite popular. How did I not die there? Whoop! Okay, we're good. It's really close to eating my own words. But yeah, if you've got like a suggestion for it, or like just it doesn't have to be a specific, like, move this node, move that node. It can be general suggestions. It goes great on our forums. Just things like maybe describing the scenario you were in, and maybe if you can comment why. Like, was it a specific build you were playing? I know I've heard similar feedback with pure throwing builds.
Not happening.
Did I find 4 uniques this one echo? Effectively 5 with that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, sweet. This is good. This is a good one. I mean, toss away a bunch of health, but I do get bleed and physical. Like, he's physical. This is physical, right? Yeah. You know, I might save that and go make a legendary out of it. Do we have an exalted belt we can use? If we can get like exalted health on a belt to put on that, hybrid would be the best. But yeah, there were some good ones here. I didn't look what they were, but there were some good ones. Anything useless here? No, none of these are useless. Yeah, I like that, but
Yes.
whatever.
Take care.
Experience. What? With regard to the leveling process and possibly extending the time it takes to hit 100, does EHG have plans for some sort of progression fall off that happens around 76 or so? Skills fully leveled, gears somewhat solid, notable passives taken. Yeah, and it's sort of that, like, the point where, like, I guess Endgame starts to kick in. And a lot of our level scaling and like level scaling curves and unlock curves and things like that have been skewed a little bit based on the quantity of endgame systems we've had up until now. And we've never felt overly confident in the volume of endgame systems we've had. And I think we're starting to feel now that it's in a better place where we can kind of start to treat it more like it's a full game's worth of endgame content to operate on.
Not happening.
If that makes any sense? And, ooh, I like this arbor key. Just what we were looking for. Always nice to see. And, so I can see some of those other curves changing a little bit. But probably not too much. I don't know, and this is one of those things as well that maybe we change one of them and it exposes that another one of them needs to change alongside it or something like that. And maybe we don't realize that immediately, and we discover it through playtesting. Because we haven't got there yet, it's not something we've discovered yet, you know? Doing okay in here. I think I might need to take a look at my bow. I think the bow's falling off. Might be the problem I'm having. I guess it's too late for March multi update. Will it be on for April? I don't want to guarantee it just because it's not me doing it, but I would be surprised if we don't get one. That's about the best I can say for you there, unfortunately. What level are we at? Still 72. Just creeping along. Level 85 zones. Why am I so underleveled for the zones? What happened there?
Easy. Too easy.
It's actually level 85? Yeah, it's level 85. Maybe I'm not doing that bad. Yeah, just cruising through. No big deal. Severely underleveled.
Not happening.
Nice build, Rhymer. Yeah, let's go check out a dungeon after this echo, I think. And maybe we're gonna focus on getting a bow and maybe making that belt legendary. Those will be our goals, I think, is a new bow soon.
Not happening.
I went and played Magic last night with some of my buddies.
Not happening.
Tons of fun. Don't get to do that very often, so it was great. Oh my god, I got my ass handed to me. Whew, it was bad. It was bad. So I made some adjustments this morning. Slapped an extra 2 pieces of removal in every one of my decks. Done. Thanks for putting the base items like Obsidian Axe, which supports melee summoner type Primalist. Glad there's a lot of variety. You're welcome. We do try to get as much variety in there in in-game items, and that's something that'll continue to expand as well. Like every element is up for expansions and improvements down the road. It's just a matter of when. Sometimes it'll be maybe a new unique that spurs on a new base type. Maybe it'll be a new chapter that'll make that make sense, where there's like a new timeline or a new location or something that makes it make sense to have a new type. Or maybe there's like a new class that comes in that needs new types, or maybe there's so many things that can trigger so many other things like that. Nice little glyph of chaos in there. Take that. Does EHG plan to add support for spells in Spellblade tree so that spells can be viable with Spellblade at any point in development? Maybe. It's so hard to answer these, like, do we ever plan to do this? Because the answer is almost always just, well, maybe. Maybe. There is this sort of, like, disconnect. So spells in general are more like longer range spells that are designed for sorcerer, and Runemaster will fall more in that category as well, probably. I would say, likely, kind of assuming there. But I mean, you do get like the melee abilities are in a way spells, but they're not tagged as spells. It's the big difference, really. That makes any sense.
Not happening.
I think too much variety sometimes can cause like a loss of class identity. Like, as soon as it can do everything, it can't really do anything. Unless it actually can do everything. Like a D2 Paladin, do anything. Was the ability to skip Lagon chapter via Sanctum something you intentionally designed or thought about? Yeah, it's one of the cornerstones of dungeons, is having a content skip in the campaign, and all the dungeons have a campaign skip associated with them, specifically so that on follow-up characters you don't necessarily have to run the entire campaign every single time you start a new character, so that you can speed that up and you can customize that campaign experience. So if there's like a boss that's particularly difficult for the class you're playing, you can skip it. Maybe there's a boss that's particularly easy for the boss you're playing, and you can intentionally go to that one. So yes, that was very intentionally designed and is one of the primary reasons for dungeons existing in the way they do. Did you try to face tank all their attacks in Magic as well? I mean, I didn't try to, but it just kind of happened. No, I don't know what happened. It was just a nuts night. Like, over the course of 3 games, I played 7 spells. It was bad. Usually our games take like 3 hours per. You know, we're usually playing pretty low power stuff, just hanging out, having fun. But every once in a while, the stars just align, you know? Adjustments equals bought a time walk and some moxes online. No, I added like, you know, an unmake and an anguish unmaking to my Orzhov deck, and I added a chaos warp and a generous gift to my Boros deck, and I added a you know, things like that. Good removal spells, but not power 9 stuff, you know. No, lands were not the problem. One of the games was over on turn 4. We play a weird variant called Kingdoms, and there's different victory conditions for each player. So one person has like if you kill this one person, you just win. The game's just over immediately as soon as you kill this person. And so someone had a sudden substitution and a final fortune, and so they cast final fortune and used sudden substitution to give final fortune to the person they had to kill, and that person got an extra turn, but the final fortune reads, at the end of that extra turn you lose the game. So because they gave them final fortune, at the end of that turn they lost the game. And it was just over. Sweet combo. Mike, loot drop sound pack when? Loot drop sound pack when? My loot filters need some spice. Yeah, that's something that gets asked about fairly frequently. It's not actively in development, but it is something we've talked about and something we think we'd probably like to do. It's a tricky one to implement, and there's a lot of pitfalls and a lot of gotchas that are involved with that, so we're being careful with it. Part of the problem with it, one of the biggest problems, is there needs to be a limit with how frequently the sounds can play. So whether that is the rule needs to be restrictive enough that the rate that object usually drops at is like low enough such that you don't hear that drop sound very often. If it's something like item dropped, item dropped, item dropped, sound effect, you know, then it can't play every time gold drops, because that would be unbelievably annoying. So there needs to be some sort of either restriction on what you can put it on, or just built-in way to like the obvious thing is, just let us put it on anything, but just only play it every X seconds. So just if it's played in the last second, don't play it again. Yeah, that works for sure. But part of the reason why you want to have these sound packs, these sound effects for item drops, is so that when one of these items drops, maybe it's off screen, you don't notice it, you hear it still, and then you know to look around for something. So if 2 of these items drop basically back to back at the same time, another lightless arbor key, that's awesome. Attunement strength. I mean, you could chaos that health regen out of there and some decent druid gloves. Anyways, what I was trying to say, you have two of them drop at the same time. So say like a unique item drops at my feet right here, and simultaneously a unique item drops off screen, and only one sound plays. You pick up the one at your feet, and you don't know the one off screen played because it's too far away, right? So just having a flat, like, it can only play so often, there's ways it doesn't work. And I know that it would still be better than not having it probably, but if you come to rely on that sound, and you never check for anything otherwise, you just, it's like, oh, I didn't hear the sound, it didn't drop, or I heard the sound and I picked something up, therefore there's nothing else. You can actually end up missing more items than you would without the sounds. So, trying to figure out ways to do that, and have that be good.
Not happening.
Just got shrines working in multiplayer. That was sweet. It's making getting through stuff a lot easier now the shrines are working again. Picking up those shrines just reminded me of it. I'm gonna get like full bonus for this one. I'm killing so many things. Just happened incidentally, that's great. Well, I take my time anyways, but yeah. All the bonus for Mike. Okay, yeah, after this one we're gonna go to a dungeon or two, I think. 73 is still... I think we're still in sort of a weird spot for the dungeons. We'll see. I think Zakar wants you to be the voice that's in his sound pack. Like you're congratulating him on his sweet loot drops. Excellent find. You know, things like that. Nice unique, bruh. It's force of habit. I'm just going through this. Let's go to oh yeah, and there's this now. This is great. So if you have a key and you right click on the key, it just opens the map and takes you to where you need to portal to. I love it. Love it.
Human, you can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. You know what it's like, yeah. On every drop. Talking about shrines, I seem to recall that they used to give their bonuses to both player and their minions, but the latter part is no longer mentioned. Any reason why? There was some problems with it becoming incredibly overpowered for minion builds. So we had to remove it, unfortunately. Prism wraps are always kind of good, just kind of good. All right. Let's go. Yeah, like that's the whole 88. That's the thing. Yeah, we're right in the middle where 65's kind of low and 88's kind of high. I'm like, do I try for the 88 one? Probably just get my butt handed to me. Let's go to this one just so I can actually do it. Hang on, take my level first though. Actually, doing here, I think. just hammer through this and get something sweet.
Not happening.
Sweet that it follows it even when you throw it out. Those hurt surprisingly a lot. $98. I lost some. No. It's okay. We'll get through it.
Not happening.
I like the art on that axe. The inner jaw. Like, it's hard to see. Oh, come on, really? Yeah, there we go. Ah, there we go. It's gonna stay? No, it's not. Whatever. I really want to wait to get the. What am I doing?
Easy. Too easy.
Forgot about the mechanics here for a second. The like art being displayed on larger frames for items to be able to like show off what they look like and inspect the art closer. I think would be really, really good.
Not happening.
All right, let's get through this bad boy. Where are we going?
Not happening.
Let's find an amber to pop.
Not happening.
All right, another question here while I'm doing this. Do you plan to do something regarding dungeon key drops? I believe there's a large demand for increasing the drop rate and adding to Echo rewards. I don't know. We might increase the rate. We won't be increasing the rate for patch 8.5. Like we're definitely hearing the feedback that people want them to be higher. I don't know if it's actually good for the game if they are higher, and good for the play experience if they are. It might be, it might not be. We really want more data on it and want to let the patch cycle play a little bit longer before we make a decision on it, basically. Like I know it's not much, like it's anecdotal evidence and it's a tiny sample size, but like it's not some they're impossible to find and no one's finding them at all, because like as we can see tonight, I've already found two like the cyber keys, and we've been going for 43 minutes. So some people might be getting really unlucky, and it's possible that there needs to be more like deterministic way, and that's a good point of why you bring it up, in that adding it to a reward for a specific thing where you can target them a little bit better. That might be what needs to happen. I don't know, but they're gonna stick where they are for at least a little while.
Not happening.
Thoughts on arena key and memory echo rewards being replaced instead with random key or dungeon key? Yeah, okay, so similar thing. That's probably a pretty good idea. Like I said, it's probably not going to happen for this patch cycle, but if we do something, then it'll likely be that. I think. Could be wrong.
Not happening.
Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, nice exalted quiver there. What is that? What's that going on? Oh, not terrible. Nothing really stand out in that, but you know.
Not happening.
Get these guys down. Daedalus, hello! How are you today? Running into walls. They just look like they needed a friend. You know? Oh, I took a couple hits, down to 95. That won't do. 85. Oh, I'm slipping.
Not happening.
Do y'all track any analytics on skill usage? Not very detailed, really. We do a little bit of stuff with that, but it's not really. You can probably get just as good of an idea or similar idea from like looking at the like build guide pages and the ladder. Will probably give you just about as good of an idea with that. It's pretty representative. Where's an amber? Gotta find an amber. Get this 85 back to 100. What's going on here, huh? Who of the characters would eat pineapple on pizza if one was offered to them? I mean, I would assume all of them, because they probably have never experienced pizza in general. So they don't have any like preconceived notions about what's good and bad, and they probably want to make their own decisions up. And once they taste the glory that is pineapple on pizza, they'd be hooked.
Not happening.
Runes, let's do it.
Human, you must. I was grown by Eterra.
Dun 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 dun.
Not happening.
Whoa, that's my face. I may have forgot that it did that.
Not happening. Not happening.
hide out in here. Here we go.
Not happening.
That was close. I don't know how I timed that so well. Oh, what am I doing?
Not happening. Not happening.
Get a little cocky on this because I'm so over leveled.
Not happening.
There we go. No problem. Get the boots. Yeah, those are nice boots. Not really much for endurance, unfortunately, but you know, it's still good. Still good. Okay. Adds a chest that drops several exalted items. Yeah. Several idols. Yeah, I'm not really big on the idols right now. Add an exalted idol chest. Yes, please. Set item. Yeah, I'm not really going for sets. Sure. Sure. Additional glyph of despair? Nah. All items from a random chest additive for the duplication effects. That's expensive, but let's go with it. Unique weapon. Ooh, we really want a bow. Yeah. Yeah. Nah. Duplicates every chest. Okay, this is the last one we're going to take. Just burning through huge amounts of cash. I know I've got a weird amount of cash here. I'm trying to be reasonable with it. We might do something with these boots. I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. Oh, yes. Oh my. Oh my. These are all swords. These are all swords. Minion throwing. Minion. Fusion health converted to ward. Minion. Crit. Two-hander. Minion. A lot of swords. Daggers and. Oof. Is there a shop here so we can just like dump this stuff? This is when we were playing our Sentinel. I think I just want to throw it all away is the problem. Oh yeah, this is just Spirit Thorns. Which is cool, but... Right. There's a button we have in our dev tools that's just clear ground items, so just like nukes all the items off the ground. I just like went to press it and like, ah, it's not here. Whoops. Anything left to spoil today? I don't have any. I'm sorry, I don't have any spoilers for you today. If you are here just for that, I'll let you know right now so you're not disappointed. But I'd love you to stay still. Oh, the LP Tomb of Elements, that's nice. I just don't want these to like take up all the space. There's so much space on the ground, or so much stuff that's gonna drop here. We'll dump it all over here. Oh, we got a couple bows. I'm not even gonna look at these. No, it's blasphemy. I don't care. Yeah, I should. Throwing. That's exalted health on a chest. They could pull that off something. Yeah, not for us, unfortunately. Well, there's a bow for us at least.
Might have to drop something.
Not a ton of useful gear. I tell you what. It's nice health that we can pull off for something. Do you just like this weapon? It's cool. They're working on that Eric's bones.
Might have to drop something.
That really did not go as well as I had hoped. It's too bad. It's okay. Yes. Yeah, that's not bad. Increased health, exalted belt. We can make that belt. Yeah, let's go make a belt. What? Let me. Yeah. Temporal Sanctum. Not sure how all this stuff picked back up again. Did I do that? I must have. Alright. Got some more questions. How do y'all prioritize which skills get looked at or changed? Great question. And do you identify core issues with the skills and address those, or trying to fix around the core design the skill initially was made with? I mean, both. Really depends on the situation. So, if there's an item with, like... I really should look at these bows. I'll look at them later. Ah! I could just do this, but I don't want to mess up my, like, key section. This is why we need a key ring. Or just have them stacked. Yeah, 80. That'll be tough. We can do it. I believe in us. How do y'all prioritize which skills get looked at and identify the core issues of the skills and address those, or trying to fix around the core design of the skill was initially made with? So, I'll give an example of both of those, actually. So, for example, I would say that teleport has some pretty significant skill tree problems. But that skill, the core design of it's not going anywhere. It's extremely iconic for that class archetype. It's also really important to have a solid movement skill. You know, like teleport's base functionality is not getting changed. I am not going to survive this. There's no way. So yeah, so when we're looking at reworking teleport, we're looking at specifically the skill tree, keeping the base functionality intact, and we're interested in improving the skill tree, improving the skill functionality, and just improving what's already there instead of replacing what's already there. An example of a skill that is, well, I don't know what's happening with this skill yet, because it is struggling from a more core standpoint. It says volatile reversal. So it is It's a tricky skill to make feel good to use and be intuitive and be unique and actually be useful all at the same time, because it is so weird of a skill. And I know they have lots of different versions of it in lots of different games. Like Path of Exile has a version of it now that's very similar. And like League of Legends has one, and Overwatch has one, and I'm sure there's more I'm forgetting. But there's a lot of it's not an uncommon mechanic as a whole, but getting it to function nicely in an ARPG with like specific control schemes and getting multiplayer involved and you know all these things is tricky, to say the least. And so with that, it's possible that we could rework the base functionality of it to be slightly different. There's lots of different versions we've talked about over the years on how to change that base functionality and what it would become. And we're not really set on it. We won't change it at all as well. But like, so I guess it really depends is the answer to that. The other half of that question was, how do we decide which skills need to be worked on? It's a lot of it's a feel thing. There are some like numbers that come into it, but a lot of it's just a feel, and a lot of that comes from anecdotal feedback. And I'm not talking about power shifting and power reworks, but like functional reworks and like changing a skill tree, things like that. A lot of that comes from just how does it feel feedback that we get. And we do look at things like, you know, analytics on how many people are playing certain skills in different situations and things like that. So there is a little bit of a
how is this possible?
From different sources.
Only I should be able to command time here.
And yet,
Unless...
here we are. Yeah. So the way we figure out which skills we're going to replace or rework or, you know, any of those things, or just update in general. A lot of it comes down to feel. There's some numbers associated with it in the sense of, like, you can look at certain skill trees. I don't think there's any good examples on Rogue because they're all actually pretty good. Yeah. But on things like Druid, Primalist, Beastmaster, things like that, there's some Saber Tooth, some in Bear, which have nodes that are not great nodes, and they're like, sometimes it's just age. Oh hey, I mean, yeah. I mean, I know we're all about the dots. Do we just... It might actually be worse because we are all about the dots. Let's see how it feels. Let's switch it out and see how it feels. So far, pretty similar.
Not happening.
What was I saying? Oh yeah, feel. Oh yeah, quantity. So there's like the node. There's a few metrics with skill trees that we look at. Total number of nodes should be roughly around 30. The points per node should never go above 5. And then we have a few metrics on like average number of points you can spend in the tree, total number of points that you can spend in the tree. So there's a few things in there, like average connection values, and we try and keep them all pretty similar to each other. And some trees are obviously more than others, and that's fine, but there's sort of a range we try and keep all those numbers in.
Not happening.
And if any of those numbers are really far out of whack without having a really good reason for it, oh, I definitely tried to use the time travel. That's frustrating. I must have used another ability by mistake. That's too bad. It's weird that it brings you back here. Poison bleed, crap. Yeah. Yeah, that flat added damage is just so far out of what we want. Looking for bleed mostly. And the poison's nice, but yeah, that bleed base is good. You know? Can we do... Dex. Actually, you know what? Let's discover it. Let's discover it. Chaos it. Bleeding Sharkins, no. Synchronized Strike, no. Shadows, no. Poison duration. I mean... Sure, I guess. Oh, great, that was actually bad. Endurance? Yeah, let's keep with endurance, sure. You know what? I like that helmet more. We're gonna roll with it. We're not good enough to do like this arbor like that. Let's try Soulfire. Let's try Soulfire. See what level gap we're looking at. I think it went over the plus skills thing in its entirety.
Hey, cat's a chat.
I'm also very interested in getting the architectural deep dive for your multiplayer implementation from Stansborg. I mean, the underlying architecture probably won't go into too much of a into too many details on, just because there's some stuff there that's not really appropriate to share. I have to get some souls first. Body armor already? Oh, no. Don't even need to look at that, really. Thinking my old bow may have been better. See, still. Oh yeah, I'll stand in the fire. Yay! Fire. It's so warm. It's great. You get like a nice little tan. Bring some bread and cheese. Make a grilled cheese on my boots. Oof! Oh, okay. Let's find another question to answer. We ground item nuke in live version when? Another thing, I believe you spoke on trade in some vague manner in a prior stream. Yeah, we've talked about it. Do y'all plan to have one of those one person's trash and another person's treasure type approach to trade? I don't really understand that. Not sure if we are just speculating beyond you meant in the past phrasing. What you meant in the past phrasing. I mean, so I don't understand the trash treasure phrasing. There will be probably some. What did I say? There will be some way to. Oh, and Daedalus, thank you very much. That looks like 10. Thank you very much, Daedalus, for gifting 10 subs to the channel. If anyone got one of those, congrats for that. Some names in there I recognize. We're gonna try Soulfire again because wasn't paying attention properly. I think what I said with trading in the past was that there will be some way to take some item that you have that someone else wants, and they'll be able to acquire it in some manner, and there'll be some way to acquire items other than like from other people collecting them in the world or something like that. It was super vague. I think I know what you're talking about. I think it was just I was trying to say trading in the most vague way possible, so it didn't imply anything about how the trading would work. Just there would be no way to speculate on anything because it's so vague. I think that's all that was.
Not happening.
Shift was just on cooldown. I just stayed there. I'm like, yeah, I can shift out still. Go to shift, nothing. I'm gonna stop embarrassing myself, and we're gonna go get better. I'm gonna get good here. Alright, Mike, time to get the whole ass out. Thank you, whoever did that. That's exactly what I needed. Also perma-stunned, it looks like. Cough, Sabretooth cough. Yeah, Sabretooth, yeah, 8-point node. Yeah, Fireball has an 8-point node, I think, still. It's actually a pretty good tree, though, so there's not a lot to be done there, but yeah. Sabretooth is the other go-to example I use with Bear. Got my special VFX, my special Halo VFX here. Oh, it's right there. Get back here. I just want to chat. Not gonna hurt you. Maybe a little bit. But you'll like it, don't worry. Well,
Not happening.
probably won't like it, but you know, yeah, we'll see. You done blown up yourself for, huh? Any ETA on 0 cooldown Sork inspired teleport rework for mage? I mean, there's no way we can make a 0 cooldown Sork teleport. Okay, it was this like cursed request. Granted, but it costs 4,000 mana to use. Or granted, but it costs double whatever your total mana, your max mana is. So after using it once, you go so negative that you have to regen mana. So the cooldown being 0 is irrelevant. You know? No, we're not gonna do 0 cooldown teleport. I think 0 cooldown teleport is one of the biggest mistakes. This is going to be possibly an unpopular opinion, but whatever. I think 0 cooldown teleport is one of the biggest mistakes that Diablo 2 made. Sorry. One of, if not my favorite game of all time. Not perfect. Yeah, I wonder mostly how it was weighted, because there are quite a few skills that are outdated and don't align with new design philosophy you guys have, but yet they touch less frequently. This gives us a lot of insight. Yeah, and okay, so there's other things that influence it as well. So for example, the model for Bone Golem. I know we've teased new Bone Golem models, but we haven't. It's not out yet, and Bone Golem is another tree that could use some work. The Bone Golem model's not ready yet, and a lot of the animation work and things like that are reliant on the skill tree, so we do them at the same time. So with we can't really do. We could, but it this is what I was talking about earlier about prioritizing work so we do less total work overall. If we do a bunch of work on the bone golem tree and make it, and we're like, okay, we want to build this system, but then it comes out that the art for it doesn't line up or something like that, or someone builds something for the art that looks amazing, and we're like, okay, we gotta take advantage of this now. Then we gotta go back into the tree and rework it. So we try and work on them in more closely and similar timing sometimes to help with that. Same with the saber-tooth. Oh, I accidentally clicked on a ping in Discord, and now I'm sitting in a channel that has a lot of talking in it, and it keeps distracting me. It's just the worst, right? Can you imagine anything worse? Really? There we go, fixed. Is Ichi still working on the crit rework you alluded to a couple months back? Just wondering if it's something that's being experimented on. Yes, we are still working on it. I jumped the gun a little bit by telling you guys about it because it was further out than I thought. I thought we were closer to doing it. We hit a little snag, but it's being worked through, and yeah, I'm confident we'll still see it. Just not as early as I thought.
Not happening.
Taken down. There's that 10 gifted sub. Yeah, that's how far back I am. Wow. It was phrased in an interesting manner that left us speculating something like a global trade hall that was sort of a collection of soldier. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. That was not my intention. Sorry to finish up. The idea was, the idea sounded interesting, but far too difficult for me to understand. Yeah, it was. I was really not describing anything specific. I was trying to be like, there's going to be a way that items will change hands. It's the most broad definition of a trade system I could possibly think of. Agree with you on teleport? Yeah, it's instant cast. Not even not instant, but pretty close to instant cast. No cooldown teleport would be too strong. Every class would have to have that. Every single character, every single class would have to have access to that level of movement, and it would trivialize navigating any situation if you could just be like zzz, through the whole map, no matter where it was. Like, you can already get pretty close to that in a lot of situations, but like, we don't want to completely trivialize it. I already think that there's a few situations where movement skills are a little overtuned. Any news about the new class Falconer, Rune Master? Any news on multiplayer? Any news about upcoming class reworks? So we just we're still in the last patch, right? So you don't have any timelines on anything. It's gonna be a little bit longer till the next patch than usual, I think. And I can say there will not. This is like the 6th, 7th, 8th. I don't know how many times I've said this now. I know it might not be you asking this, but just be super duper clear again. Warlock, Rune Master, and Falconer are not coming in the next patch. We have not started work on any of them. They're all really far out. We don't have any ETA on them. We don't have any one of which one's first. They're never coming. They're coming. They will be here at the latest by 1.0. it's one of those things where we realized a little while ago that we've got a lot of really good content in the game. And we've got some not fantastic content in the game still, because mostly it's just fallen behind. Because we keep getting better and better at doing this. And if we hadn't improved at all, things like skills like we were talking about earlier today, like Summon Bear and Summon Sabretooth and things like that, yeah, they would be totally fine by comparison to other things. But,
Not happening.
like 3 years ago, Summon Bear was a great tree. 2 years ago, whenever the last time it was redone, it was a great tree. But since then, we've made 40 skill trees or whatever it is that are way better. You know, and just getting that minimum quality level up a little bit higher
Not happening.
is a bigger priority than filling in the gaps of the missing content, because there is enough content that's shoring up those weak points. Reducing those negative impressions is more important at this stage than finishing the classes. I'm just gonna leave it there. Just gonna leave it there. Any experience ones? I gotta level up faster. Should almost like go back to a lower level timeline and just level faster or something. Try an arena run maybe. Speak of the devil. That'd be cool. Something like I could do arena champion run. Yeah, let's do that. Okay, after something to do that. Lots of stuff to do now. It is something I am noticing, is that it does feel like I can pick between multiple different things to try and do right now pretty easily, which I think feels really good. And I know that a lot of that is predicated on the fact that there's a gigantic stash of keys sitting in my bank right now. But we found something like 4 or 5 keys this run, haven't we, today? It's definitely not been light on the key finds. We've been getting pretty lucky. I'm curious, can you give... Oh, run away, Mike. Can you give a rough outline of how patch cycle goes in terms of decision-making and planning? Will be hopefully made... Oh my god, why is it still scrolling? I'm curious, can you give a rough outline of how patch cycle goes in terms of decision-making and planning? Will be hopefully make in an upcoming patch. So I can't tell you what's like scheduled for next patch. If that's part of that question, I may have misunderstood that. Once we've got that like nailed down a little tighter, I'm sure there'll be a post for it, like we usually do. Basically there's a group of team leads that get together and say, what do we think we need? What do we think we can do? Prioritize the things that are left. Lay out a list of goals. Things that we kind of know we can do, things we need to do, and things we'd like to do. And we make a plan from that. And it's just people that have been working on the project long enough that we can do that from basically inside the heads. But there's so many documents of lists and reasons of various things, you know. I'm not drinking anywhere near enough water today. Oh. What's been your favorite? Sorry, Douglas, I don't know if I fully answered that question or not. Probably didn't. If you want more, let me know. Maybe more specific question. What has been your favorite and least favorite thing to work on for multiplayer? I mean, that's a tough thing to answer because I don't know if anything's really stood out as overtly negative. It's just great to see things like actually get finished. I guess like my least favorite thing is the things that I haven't finished. There we go. So when you level up, you don't when a skill levels up and you get that pop up that's like you've got an unspent skill point in your shift tree. Had to check. That pop up right now doesn't show up, and a few months ago I tried to get that working and then got moved off it onto a different project, which was the right thing to do at the time for sure. So I guess my least favorite thing was that because I didn't finish it. But you know, it's the actual process of working on it is all very similar. So it's I don't know if I'm really gonna be able to give a good answer here. Sorry. My favorite part is the testing. Just getting to play with friends is really awesome. And don't worry, my not work friends pester me about multiplayer too. We were playing Magic last night, and first thing any of them said to me when I walked in the door, "When's multiplayer, Mike?" Gotta keep me on my toes, you know? And they say it with love. It's as a joke. Sometimes the damage numbers on tooltips feel busted. Oh yeah, they are not overly accurate. Mine says 99,000 and I take a potion adding 140 flat damage. The tooltip says 36,000? That's surprising. That it goes down when taking a potion to give a big bonus. That sounds like a bug. How does that 100? I do not know which potion's adding 140 flat damage. That's crazy. That's crazy. The number is formatted to a specific size, so maybe it rolled over and cut a value. I think it's formatted to show way bigger than that though. So I don't think that's it. But if it goes to like 100003600, then maybe it would format down weird. Maybe it's just a visual bug. I'd be surprised if that's what it was. Yeah, I'd submit a bug report with that if you think it's a bug. But the tooltips are very inaccurate because they can't take advantage of a lot of things. So specifically, if there's something where it's like 400% more damage dealt to ignited enemies, it will just literally ignore that stat, even if you're always fighting things that are ignited. I have played 220 hours and found my first B shrine today. Woohoo! Those are rare. So congrats. Why does my cool new weapon have a giant red X on it? Because it is a base type that should not drop in the game and does not have 2D art associated with it. So that is the error art that we use to very clearly see that it's got the wrong art on it. We'll probably use something more appropriate once we go live, but it's just there so that we can really quickly and easily see, like, oh, this item clearly is wrong, so it stands out like a sore thumb, and we fix it. So some base types are only supposed to be used for specific uniques. So like there's a helmet that does that, there's a catalyst that does that, there's a spear that does that, like there's a whole bunch of different items, and that that base type was designed specifically for, I think that's probably the two-handed axe for the new necromancer axe, and it's the base type's not supposed to drop as a magic rare exalted item, but it is by mistake, and so you're getting it doesn't have, the base type doesn't have 2D art, because when it drops as a unique, it uses the unique art. So it's just going to the fallback art, which is a giant red X. So yes, throw that item away, it should not exist. Reminder to at me to get me to answer your question. Yeah, who didn't see who? Oh, right about. Really quick question. What Last Epoch character would most fun to hang out with in real life? I mean, Charles Dance. Come on, right? That other Primalist, I feel like if you were like really good friends with the Primalist, you could like ride a Sabretooth. How cool is that, right? Hey, really quick question. Oh, yeah, okay, the same thing. Sweet. You mean my disintegrate isn't doing 1 million DPS? I mean, it might be. Some of them as well assume that there's multiple enemies that they're hitting. Some of the DPS calculations, some of the like really AoE heavy abilities will calculate as though you're hitting, like, it'll be like, oh, it will just assume you're hitting 2 enemies all the time. So that's the other thing, is it's tricky to do with AoE abilities, is you could be hitting 1 enemy or 20 enemies, and the DPS changes dramatically. I would like you to know that this RPG for me is already the best I've ever played. Thank you very much. That's great to hear. For the longest time, I've been wanting a mechanically deep, intricate, and strategic RPG to play and dive into, and Last Epoch has delivered that even better than I could have dreamed. That's fantastic. Thank you. This game literally is a dream come true, and I'll be playing it for a very long time to come. Thank you, Mike, and all the EHG. Thank you. That's really, thank you. That feels good. Yeah. I just love hearing, like, whenever someone's having fun with the game, it's always my favorite thing to hear. Yeah. I have one of my friends I haven't talked to them much in a couple of years, actually. I guess used to play hockey with them, and long time ago, and they messaged me out of the blue, because like they got a key back when we were like in Kickstarter, and they played a little bit or whatever, and they hadn't played in just years, and they picked it up just to try it again, and they messaged me, they're like, oh, so you're making a real video game now? Like, yep, it's actually good now. I mean, it was good then, but it's way better now. Kickstarter version was more of a proof of concept. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate hearing about the fun you're having playing your game. Here's a neat little trick that's interesting, that might seem like a bug, but I think it's actually really good. So I'm gonna click on this poison resistance shard and then stop moving, And then now I'm going to just walk near it without clicking on it, and it'll pick them up. So when you click on one and start moving towards it, it adds it into a list of things that it's going to pick up when it gets nearby.
Too easy.
And if you haven't changed zones, and you move near that item, it'll pick it up. It actually adds everything. That's when the calculation for the vacuuming takes place. Which is actually why this little bug sometimes, where if you start moving towards one and one drops as you're already on the way, it can sometimes not pick it up.
Not happening.
Let's go. This group, yes. The pack and a half right there.
Not happening.
Not happening, but I need it to happen.
Easy. Too easy.
Let's not get cocky now.
Not happening.
This one's a trek and a half, eh? Alright, more questions here. Is there going to be more endgame bosses with interesting items? Oh yeah. It's only drop off bosses are completely random. How do you prefer items dropping? I think this is one of those places where balance is really important. And I don't mean like power balancing, but like having a combination of the different types. So uniques that can drop anywhere are great because they can surprise you. And you can be in the middle of looking for one item and find a completely different one, and it can like it can be an item. I love it. I love situations where you're looking for some item, or you're building something, or you're trying to complete some task, and an item drops that you weren't expecting and is super good, and like is a build encouraging item. Something that's like, oh my god, I'm gonna now make. Oh my god, I'm going to now make a Hail of Arrows build, you know? And where it can, like, spur making a new character or respecing an old character or something like that. I think that's really cool. But then at the same time, there's quite often places where you're like, okay, I really need this one item to even make this build work that I really want. Mustache is tickling my nose so much right now, and it's bothering me a lot. Where you have one item that you really need, and it's great to be able to target farm that off specific bosses and have really thematic things as well. So like the new axe, the new two-handed axe that we were just talking about coming off of Grimoris, it is the literal axe he's wielding in the scythe that he's wielding in the boss fight. Like it's the same model, it's the same everything, so it's like that's his weapons. And that's really cool where you're like, oh, I killed this boss and I picked up their weapon and now I'm using it. That's awesome. So having a combination of the two, I think, is really valuable. And yes, there will be more of both of those things. Got a question from Hardest. With underscores in between every letter in all caps. Is there any concept art on what the portrait frames going to look like for the Kickstarter backers? I noticed there is not a placeholder spot in the cosmetics section in the game. That's true. I think there actually is. Or there was. Is this it? I think that might be the portrait frames placeholder spot. Oh, banner. Never mind. It says it right on it. portal. Yep. Yeah, there's not one there. You're right. There should be. This whole thing is not finished yet. Like, this has still got to do something. This has still got to do something. Like when you go to here, this is getting redone. Like this is something that I made years ago, and then they slapped some better UI on it a little while ago, but it's still very unfinished. But no, I don't have any concept art for it, unfortunately. What determines the AOC champion I'll get? RNG, I've done 24 tier 4 runs today and I've only seen Valon once. I want to get those damn boots. Yeah, that is literally just really bad luck. It should be even distribution 1 and 3. So what if I just click on everything on the map and never pick it up? What's the limit of that pickup queue? I mean, it's just a list, so really it... And that, to be fair, to be clear, that only actually works... actually, no, that does work for everything, doesn't it? So yeah, you could do that. You'd have to drop a lot of things and somehow avoid picking any of it up. I think it actually self-clears after a little while. It like culls itself. Possibly when you add something new to the list, it yeah, when you click. Okay, I think we can experiment this a little bit. Experiment time. Okay. So if we do, we're here, click and add. If we go over there, we'll pick it up. But then if we do this and then walk over there, that still does it. There's some condition that clears the list. I remember that. So it might be at a certain volume, it clears itself. It might be at a certain interval, it just checks and clears. The limit's big enough and the performance is such that it doesn't matter if that list gets huge because it doesn't loop through that list. Doing anything expensive. So all that would happen is, I mean, the limit's probably in the millions before you notice any problems. Yeah.
Not happening.
Yeah, me picking up that item's not happening. Oh, run away. Alright, another question. Thoughts on Kamigawa set? There's a few things I love in it, and overall I didn't find too much new stuff that I liked. There's a few real bangers though. I thought it was a overall positive set. I'm much more excited about Shoots of Nukapena, which is... I was so disinterested in it a month ago, and the cards started getting spoiled, and I am hooked. Like, I learned that I don't like Art Deco, but whoever is designing this set is a genius. And apparently watches me play and knows exactly what I like. I realize this question may be rather far out, but RPGs work in seasons, and typically they have a season theme. Yes. We do intend to do the same. Has the team thought about how they will implement those systems and what they will look like if you did? Yes, we have, for sure. Just to give an easy reference, it'll be more similar of the reference options out there to compare it to. It'll be most similar to Path of Exile, but will be different. Partially from the standpoint of Path of Exile has a very well-oiled, long-running machine that they can use to churn out high-quality content very quickly. And some of those systems we don't have in place to do quite as much quite as quickly. But that's like part of the reason why we've been working on this, the schedule we've been working on recently to make the game and get to 1.0 on and keep patching the game is to prepare and practice for exactly that style of system, so that we have those systems in place, those like development systems in place. And we're comfortable with it. It's part of the reason why our development cycles look the way they do, is so that we're preparing for being able to release content cycles at a similar rate. What that'll look like as far as content goes, I can't say, because I don't know. They'll all be different. I would say some of the early ones will probably, like, they'll probably settle in. Oh my goodness, run. Not okay. No, look over there, guys. Shiny. Yeah. Cool, eh? Ooh.
Not happening.
Okay. Thank you for stepping into my office. My goodness.
Not happening.
Those dots finish him off? I'm not even going over there. It's my necrotic res. It's probably really low, and that's probably why I just kept hitting one shot. Yeah. So good. It's alright. I should be taking defensive notes, probably. Oh, we don't need that. We don't need that. Dark Law. Yeah, we got an arena key. Let's go do an arena. Oh, we're so close to this boss. Do we try and push for that? I think we just push for that. If we do good stability gain here, we just get it. But yeah, the cycles, what they'll look like, they'll include. It'll change cycle to cycle what they include, really. But they could include things such as new dungeons, new endgame systems, new monolith timelines, new like optional extra bosses, new uniques, new base types, new skills, new mastery classes, new base classes. They could include like really just anything, depending on which cycle it is, what we've put in recently, what, you know, anything. I think there'll be some things that'll start to be regular includes in most of them. So like unique items. There might be like a cycle that's like a really unique heavy cycle, and like for example, we did when we added legendary items. We added quite a few unique items, I'm pretty sure, when we added legendaries, because there's a mechanic that's being added that interacts with them. So yeah. Lots of stuff. If feel like I should switch back to my old bow. I don't think this one's actually doing me any favors. It's making my hit damage more, but like it's so low already that is that really doing anything? Not really. Right? And I switch back, see how it feels. Can I buff it at all? T5 attack speed and physical damage, sure thing. Bleed on hit chance, go up to T5, yeah, alright. Chill, should we chaos the chill? Slow. Yeah. Not ideal, but whatever. Alright, let's go. Ooh-wee. Someone woke up on the wrong side of the cave floor. I'm assuming that's where they sleep.
Easy. Too
Nice
easy.
cozy cave.
Easy. Too easy.
Alright, come on. There we go. Take it. I don't think we quite hit enough to do the boss here, but it's close. Who do we want to meet in game that we haven't met yet? I mean, Eterra. The Observer. Was I there and I just didn't pay attention? I don't think so. Do you think it feels bad to see a set drop and you look at it and go, eh, or ew, if it doesn't work for your build? There's one thing that's just overall no interest seems bad. Yes, I agree. It does. We're still working on sets. We had a meeting yesterday that we talked about them at quite length, actually. And we've got some action items around those. Unrelenting. Ugh. Oh my goodness. Okay.
Not happening.
Come on, Mike, don't die. If you're gonna die, just try not dying instead.
Easy.
It's probably better.
Too easy.
Just do what we focused on. Bring their health to 0 while keeping yours above 0. You know, pro strats. Ding! Ding, level up, ding, level up. Whoa, I died there. Come on. We're not gonna kill the boss. We'll kill the boss early next time, I think. We'll start with that. Maybe not start, but we'll have to be. Has anything you've created in Last Epoch been inspired by Magic? Or better yet, what is something you wish you could implement from Magic into LE? Oh, I mean, like, I'd love to have a card game in Last Epoch. That would be so cool. There's definitely things that have been influenced by Magic, and I likely subconsciously for the most part, you know, like where I don't even realize I'm doing it, and it's just, you know, pretty well all creative tasks are for the most part, a product of the other creative things you've seen that are similar, right? So, I mean, like, it's hard to draw the distinction on where those inspirations come from. I don't think there's been anything where I'm like, okay, I'm going to take this specific magic card and I'm going to make a Last Epoch item out of this specific magic card. That's never happened.
Easy. Too easy.
But I bet you could look at all the things I made and been like, and draw connections that I don't even realize are there. There's definitely node names. Like if you look at the node names of older skill trees, it's been a while since I've been the one doing node names for skills, but like go look at Flame Reave or Meteor or Fireball, and I guarantee some of those spells are like totally accidentally. Some of those nodes are just gonna be a magic card, and some of that also has to do with the fact that there's just so many magic cards that like.
Not happening.
There's only so many ways to say burn something. So you'll just get things that overlap there naturally. But some of them, I bet, are going to be just things that I didn't realize I was doing. Let's see if we can find one even. Where are some of these skills? Trying to find one. Yeah, a lot of them I'm like, oh, that's a magic card, that's a magic card. It's just a generic name of things. Rolling Thunder, I bet that's one. I bet that's one that I accidentally named similar. That's 2 red and X. Deal X damage divided as you choose among any number of targets. Buyback 3. I think that's Rolling Thunder. Oh, it's not the buyback one. It's everything I said without buyback. Fanning the Flames, that's the buyback one. That's definitely a node we have too. I don't know where that is. There's definitely a node somewhere called Fanning the Flames, and I bet that was from me. You're welcome for answering your questions. I don't remember which one it was. We're just chilling at our guys. Yeah, well, you know what? I wasn't trying to get what I got.
Yes. Not happening.
I'll get a better bow. You know I will.
Easy. Too easy.
Let me. I guess we're getting low on time, and there's a bunch of questions here, so I'm gonna try and get through them. You know, a bunch. Is it intended that Void Cleave does not benefit from Fresh from the Forge Guard passive node? I don't know. I don't know what those nodes are. Sorry. Probably, if it doesn't. But maybe not. If you think something's a bug, just report the bug. If it's not a bug, and false bug reports are still useful. And that's something that I think a lot of people are concerned about doing, of like wasting time about making a bug report that's not actually a bug. It's still useful, because if you think something's a bug and it's not, it means we're either communicating it poorly, or it probably should do what you think it should do. Both of those are important things for us to look at. So, if you think something's a bug, please just report it. It's faster than asking if it's intended or not.
Not happening.
Alright. Oh my god, a card game cycle will be sick. Yeah. It'd be tough to line up and get it working and everything, like, because it's so, there's such disparate genres, right? But I'd love to work on designing a card game. It'd be so cool. I did a draft set for a Game of Thrones theme set that I made. It was a ton of fun. I have the box right behind me that's full of printed cards in booster packs, draft pack, split up already, ready to rock. Come on over, let's draft some Game of Thrones Magic cards. Based off the first book, only at this point, because it was first two, I think, actually, because I was planning on doing 3 set cycles for progressing each book and then drafting all 3 together. Or TV series, whatever. But I kind of got busy with something. Can't remember what it was. Last Epoch? Something like that. I can't remember the name. Yeah, started working on this, in case that wasn't obvious. Guy is tricky. So many things all over the place. Got. Oh, Smoke Weaver, nice. I'll take it. I'll take that happily.
Not happening.
This dragon doesn't seem very injured. You know?
What brings you here?
I so recognize that voice. Alright. We're at time here. I'll finish off some questions here. Have you discussed alternative resources for different character classes? Absolutely. So all classes do not use mana, but each one interacts with the resource pool in a potentially different way. Yes, we discussed that a couple years ago for quite a while. And we ultimately decided against it. Partially, there's quite a few different reasons. It boils down to being a little bit too restrictive in some cases on having items overlap. Is one of the main reasons, but also just having a consistent resource for most of the time, and a rage. We've kind of broken that with rage, but really rage is actually just mana, but the globe color changed is all it is. But you do interact with it differently when you're shapeshifted. Yeah, we talked about it for quite a while, but we're definitely not changing it now. It is way too late in the game to change it now. Alright, any news on new class or subclass? We'll finish off with this question. Like always, I have no information on when new classes or subclasses are coming. They are ways out, and they will not be coming next patch. I hope you all have a great day. I had a lot of fun this stream. It's chill. Didn't do it too much stuff. Died a whole bunch. Oh, I gotta learn how to get good here, apparently. But we will. So yeah, thanks for stopping by. I had fun. I hope you did too. Or what did I say? I hope you had fun. I know I did. That's what I usually say. I don't have a set script or anything. I just end up talking.